Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joshua Slade, and we are here at the Global Racing League Arca Series Food City 150. We have finally arrived. It is week 4 of the Global Racing Arca Series League. After a phenomenal race last week, as we take a look in our practice session with our race winner, that 7 car of J.J. McCoy. He was very fast last week. And apologize. I don't look like I have my trading paints on. So let's get that taken care of. So yes, our last week's winner, J.J. McCoy, who had a phenomenal race, who kind of lucked into the win after Josh Kirsch had some issues, but he was able to pull away with the win. And then our second place, Carlos Henriquez, who put the whole league on notice, saying that he was going to come away with a green flag. He's going to come away with the checkered this week. So we'll see how that plays out. And so right now we're going to get into qualifying 2 laps. We're going to ride along with Donnie Honeycutt, our Daytona winner, and he's looking to together a good race. As right now he's sitting 6th in points right now, and he set this, I believe, the second fastest lap in practice. So we'll see what he's able to do on that first lap. One thing about this track is you want to make sure you enter in high on going on turn 3 and kind of diamond it down, takes that middle line. And he's able to, as we take a ride with Bobby Mantle, who just set the pole, and he's just been overtaken by Justin LeBlanc, who's just set a 14.55. So let's take a look at that, and we're gonna take a look at everyone's times here. And yeah, as you see, Justin LeBlanc is currently our pole sitter, followed by Donnie Honeycutt and Tyler Honeycutt. So expect a strong race from the Honeycutts tonight. I can tell you what, Donnie Honeycutt is looking to have a phenomenal race. He hasn't really been able to put a good race together ever since that Daytona race, but expect him to have a major bounce back here tonight at Bristol. And so for the audience tonight, expect a great race tonight. Bristol is known for bringing a really, really phenomenal, fine racing. So should be a fun one, as we have Adam Thompson, who's currently the only one on the track qualifying. So let's take a look with him. And that lap's not going to count, as he hit the wall coming out of turn 2. And that's probably going to do it for him. So he's going to stay P16. And I can imagine he's going to bring it down pit road. And I can imagine he's not happy about that. But he's going to have some work to do. And now, in that beautiful Sour Patch Kids, the guy who said he's going to win it all today, Carlos Henriquez. We'll see what lap time he's able to put down. I know he's been practicing very hard this week. And he's saying that he's going to bring home that checkered flag in P1. And let's see what lap time he's able to put in as he get a good run off coming off turn 2. And he's going to be able to arc it down coming off turn 4. And right now he ran a 14.91. Hitting the wall coming off turn 2. So he's going to keep that P17 spot, and he's going to have a lot of work to do coming in at P17. So we'll see if he's able to weather the storm and make it up front tonight. And I'll tell you what, guys, kinda the game plan for tonight is you want to make sure that you kind of can keep your tires, keep your car safe. You want to be able to manage your tires. And that's all what it's going to come down to tonight, because you want to see who's gonna wear up their tires first, who's gonna burn their tires out, and what drivers are gonna crash, and you want to be able to have a good car to make it towards the end. And that's just gonna be the biggest thing for these drivers. Last week was very rough, and some of these drivers weren't able to have that good showing. But we'll see. We'll see how these drivers do today, and it should be a fun one. And so let's take a look at our results for qualifying. As we have Justin LeBlanc starting P1. And then P2, Donnie Honeycutt. And then P3, Tyler Honeycutt. P4, Bobby Mantle. P5, John Howard. P6, Chase Albright. P7, Mark Sherwood. P8, Dwayne Honeycutt. P9, Chad McGinley. P10, Zach Hollinger. P11, Alexander Cohen. P12, Josh McCoy, our last week's winner. P13, Bradley Miner. P14, Danny White. P15, Michael Dow. P16, Adam Thompson. P17, Carlos Henriquez. P18, Ronald Harrington. And P19, Ronald Holmes. And that's going to follow out our 19 car field. So we are ready, and time has finally approached, as it is finally time for us to take the take the track. So it's going to be interesting for these cars to get on the track as you see the sun getting ready to set. And will these cars be able to put together a good race? Who's going to be super aggressive? Who's going to take it easy on their tires? We will see shortly. And I'll tell you, one who I have my eyes out on today, I think Bobby Mantle in that 89. He's going to have a good race today. He has yet to come away to put together a good race, but I think after last week's botched start, he's looking forward to having a good race. So we'll see what he's able to do. Right now, Bobby Mantle, who's currently sitting, he tied for third right now in the playoff and the point standing. So expect him to have a strong race, and we'll see what he's able to do. Nice to see Donnie Honeycutt starting P2. And we'll see what he's able to do. This is going to be a really good start here, and I'm excited for this one. This is going to be a very good race. You can always expect really good racing when you come here to Bristol. These guys are going to race hard, and they're going to get everything they got. So we'll see here. I expect this to be a very good race, and we'll see how drivers will react as pace cars down, and we're green, and we're off to racing. Justin Block with a good run on the inside. And oh, looks like the 20 of Tyler Honeycutt is big wiggle on the inside and gets super loose, and he's gonna fall down 8 positions. Huge mistake from Tyler. He's gonna have a lot of work to do, and we'll see what he's able to do. And that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to push it too hard in the beginning of the race, because now you're gonna have to make your way through that field. And Tyler and Justin LeBlanc, our Truck Series champion, already off to a huge lead. And that's what you want. You want to get in that clean air and just start to pull away from these guys. As you can see, we are starting to single file out. And oh, they're wrecking already. Oh, huge pile up. Oh, goodness gracious. Danny White is involved in a huge wreck, as well as Dwayne Honeycutt. Huge damage on that on Dwayne Honeycutt's front of his car, and the pace car is out. Let's go ahead and take a look at that and see what happened. We're looking at Danny White, and ooh, that 17 car the 17 car Dwayne. Let's take a look at Dwayne and see what happened, man. And this looks like, oh, he just loses it. There's just nowhere to go. And unfortunately, just for Danny, he just makes head-on collision with him, and that's just very unfortunate. Let's ride along with Danny White one more time. And unfortunately, that's just the story, guys. Is when stuff like that happens with this track, you always want to make sure you don't ever really want to gun it. As soon as you get that word from your spotter, you just want to make sure you slow her up and try to slow her down as slow as possible and get out the way. And it just looks like he must not have got that call from his spotter in time, and by the time he realized it, it was just already too late. And so, huge blow for Danny White, and I can imagine that's going to be very catastrophic damage. Alexander Cohen down pit road as well, and he's been down there for a while too, so we'll see. And I can imagine these guys are going to go multiple laps down here. And so we've already had our first caution here. They only took 5 laps. And I'll tell you who's up to P2, the one to watch right now. Bobby Mantle, who's going to be starting on that outside line. Another driver you don't really see up here that much is John Howard, and I'll tell you what, John Howard in that beautiful Dunder Mifflin paint scheme, he's paying homage to the television show The Office. He's looking to have a good race. He's currently, he had a little bit of a rough race last week. He dropped 5 points last week. He's sitting currently P9. He's still in the playoffs, and he's looking to have a good race. So as we go back, we're about to take green here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see if Justin LeBlanc is able to get that phenomenal start that he had off that first green flag drop. But I can only imagine Bobby Mantle's going to put some heat on that man now. And green flag, we are off. Good start by Justin LeBlanc, but I feel like Bobby's going to have a good run coming on the outside. He does have a good run. He's on the outside of Justin LeBlanc. He's probably going to have that preferred line. He's going to have the preferred line coming out of turn 4, and he's going to take the lead. And Bobby Mantle is shot out of a cannon and has completely blew by Justin LeBlanc, and John Howard's able to get by him too. And John Howard is putting together a phenomenal race. And these two are racing really good. As that race for P1 intensifies, John Howard is all over the back bumper of Bobby Mantle, and he's looking to the inside, and he's going to see if he can have a good run. I can only imagine that Bobby Mantle is going to have that good outside run coming on the turn 4, and we'll see. And I tell you what, if I'm John Howard right now, I want to make sure I don't want to race Bobby Mantle too hard, because Bobby Mantle is a expert at saving his tires. As he's a little bit sideways coming off turn 4, you just want to put some pressure on him and wait for him to make a mistake. It's a long race. We're only coming up to lap 20. It's going to be a long race to go, but I feel like that 78 car has it dialed in completely right now. So expect him to have a really good race. Justin LeBlanc is starting to get his composure, making his way. He seems to have his car under control, and we'll see if he's able to catch up to Bobby Mantle and John Howard. Then we have Donnie Honeycutt, who started P2, and he's currently back to 4th. I'll tell you what, another consistent driver. That 49, Chase Albright. He had a little bit of a rough week last week, caught in some wrecks. But he's looking to have a really bounce-back race, and we'll see what he can do. Zach Hollinger. This is his debut race, and he had a little bit, he's in that nice Viagra car, a nice throwback car. He's looking to have a pretty good race in his debut race, and we'll see what he's able to do tonight. Followed by 7th place, Chad McGinley, who currently, one thing about Chad McGinley is, it's like some races he will shoot right out of a cannon. He'll be in the first. But one thing about Chad McGinley is when he stays in the middle of the pack like this, he will make his way to the front at the end of the race. And so that's a good thing about Chad McGinley, is he's one of those elite drivers who's just going to put himself in position to win the race when it comes time. Followed by Adam Thompson, our biggest mover, up 8 positions so far in that 71 car, and he's putting pressure on Chad McGinley. He looks like he's dialed in, and he's already up 8 positions, so he's looking to have a fantastic race. Last week's winner, J.J. McCoy, sitting P9. He's currently up 3 positions. We'll see what he's able to put together. He's on the bubble peak of that P10 or top 10, so long race to go, and we'll see what he's able to do. Tyler Honeycutt sitting in our P10 position. He has really fallen off. He's already down 7 positions, and we'll see if he's able to pull it together. I can't imagine that he's has a good feeling for the car right now. Hopefully he can get it together later on in the race. One thing about Tyler is he's running that low line. Tyler is really stubborn. So that race that he won week 2 at Charlotte, he was really stubborn on that bottom line. So it looks like he's gonna run that bottom line tonight, and we'll see what that does. Mark Sherwood, who looks like he has some right side damage on his car. He has rear damage as well. And yeah, he does have some damage. Hopefully he's able to go down pit road sooner or later and get that straightened out. But he's currently sitting P11, down 4 positions from where he started. And looking to have a good race. And caution is out, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like Ronald Holmes is on pit road, and let's take a look what happened to him. And he just lost it. It must have been a technical malfunction there, because it just looked like, let's ride along in the cockpit and just take a look, because it just looks like this wheel just cranked to the left. And yeah, some technical difficulty must have happened there. And that looks like it's gonna be the end of his race, unfortunately. And just a tough break for Ronnie Harrington, who's sitting currently 8th in points. I can't imagine that's the race that he wanted to put together tonight. And we have Bobby Mantle sideways right now, and what is going on here? I can't see him. Goodness gracious. Wait a minute. Oh, and it looks like the lucky dog just completely, of the 64, Danny White just accidentally annihilated our race leader, Bobby Mantle. I'll tell you what, I haven't seen that since, I believe, Dover in our truck series 2 to 3 years ago, when I believe Dale Brooks took out Tristan Evil at Dover in our Global Racing League truck series. And I can tell you what, Bobby Mantle, the one to watch today, I can guarantee he's not too happy about that. And that might have catastrophic damage to his vehicle. Luckily, this is not an aero-dependent track. He shouldn't have too much drag on his vehicle. And hopefully that won't be too much harm. But the decision is, will he go down pit road? I want to take a look at something else as well. It looked like these drivers had to stop. And that's just a rough one. And we'll see how these drivers are able to recover. And just a heartbreaking accident for our race leader, Chad McGinley. As we look to go green here. Coming to lap 38, Bobby Mantle is going to be off to a phenomenal start. And Justin LeBlanc is right to the bumper of Bobby Mantle, and another caution is out. And this time Adam Thompson seems to be involved in. Looks like the 7 of JJ McCoy is up against the wall. And oh, just a huge wreck there. Ron Harrington unfortunately involved again. Let's kind of see what was kind of the cause of that, and let's see kind of what happened here. Let's ride along with Adam Thompson here. Take a look at Adam Thompson. And oh, it just gets into the bumper of JJ McCoy and just completely just clobbers him going into on the entry of the turn. Let's ride along here with Ron Harrington. Take a look at that. And that's one thing you want to do. Unfortunately, he's just not able to get slowed up in time and just ran over from behind. And that's going to bring out yet another caution, our third caution of the night. And as we see JJ McCoy coming down pit road and with heavy damage to both sides of his car. I can imagine his toe looks to be knocked out as well. And that's going to do detrimental damage to our points leader. And that's not the night he was looking to have, as he's going to go try to get some of that damage repaired. Unfortunate break for him. And I'll tell you what, that kind of goes back to what I was saying in the beginning of the race, is you kind of want to have a car that's going to be there. I mean, to have an undamaged car at the end of the race is going to pay dividends. And now I think kind of the two strongest competitors are going to be Justin LeBlanc and John Howard. And we'll see what happens there. I mean, I want to put Bobby Mantle there too, but I just got to see how that damage is going to play in the long run. But I can just only imagine that we'll see what happens. And as you're looking at Tyler Honeycutt with heavy damage to his vehicle. And I'll tell you what, this is just not the type of race he wants to put together for the guy that's sitting currently third place right now in points. Pace car off. As we're coming to take the green flag. Bobby Mantle off with another phenomenal start. And I'll tell you what, Justin LeBlanc is just sleeping on these restarts. Justin LeBlanc able to hold off John Howard. And that's how he's making his way back up through the field. Donnie Honeycutt, as he's looking to the inside of John Howard. And John Howard's starting to struggle a little bit now. And hopefully he's able to get it together. And that's one thing is, as you get all that rubber down on the track, the grooves start to change, and it looks like John Howard's not able to figure out that faster groove now. And we'll see if he's able to navigate. And Chad McGinley already up to P5. And he's looking very fast right now. And he's able to just lightning past that pack and get up to P4. So Chad McGinley is just making his way through the field. Expect him to be competing out for the race league shortly. And a huge battle going on right here for that P8 position. And these guys are racing very hard. Let's take a look at these guys. These guys are racing very hard. Huge battle going on right now for 7th. All within a second of each other. As you see, Carlos is able to make it past. Able to make it past John Howard. And John Howard is just falling back. I can't believe... I don't know if he's saving tire or taking the conservative approach, but he's falling back through the field as he's under fire right now. And who's on his rear bumper right now? A huge battle right now, emerging right now for first place. And Justin LeBlanc is putting a lot of pressure on Bobby Mantle right now. He's to the inside of Bobby Mantle. We'll see if he's able to make that pass. Not going to get that run coming off the corner. And I'll tell you what, Bobby Mantle's doing, even with the damage that he has, he's able to keep pace with these guys. But what it is I think Bobby Mantle learned from last week's race at short tracks is, hey, you don't really want to go down pit road and kind of get caught up in all that, the bad mojo Jojo and all the wrecks that happened earlier. So he's gonna keep it. He's gonna stay out and gamble a little bit, because you don't want to get caught up on that in those crashes in the back. And as we have a 3-way battle going for first place right now. And oh, looks like Donnie Honeycutt's gonna go to the outside, but he's in the wall. Wall contact for Donnie. And you know who that's going to help out? That's 65 of Chad McGinley. Chad McGinley is being a sniper right now. He's just going to wait for these guys to wear their tires out. As you can see what's happening to Donnie Honeycutt, and he's just going to go in for the kill. He's kind of like the shark on the water right now. That's 65 of Chad McGinley. And he's due for a good finish. He had an unfortunate break last week at South Boston, where he led a lot of laps and unfortunately just took a pit stop and got caught up in a lot of the caution and just was never able to recover. But right now he's looking to the inside of Donnie Honeycutt, and we'll see if he's able to make that bottom line work to make that pass. As these tires were on, it becomes extremely hard to make a pass on that inside groove. So we'll see how he's able to do it. As we have Mark Sherwood and Carlos Enriquez having a good battle right now for P6. And we have a pass for the lead. Our new race leader, Justin LeBlanc. And as these guys are starting to approach lap traffic now, we're going to see how lap traffic kind of plays in on these guys and the line that these guys take and how lap traffic will affect these guys when battling for positions. As we almost have a 3-wide battle right now. And these guys are taking it to each other 3 wide to get past that lap car. And look at them. That shark in the water, that 65. Chad McGinley is there. And I like what Chad McGinley's doing right now. He's being patient. He's being patient. He wants all these guys just to battle each other hard because he's going to see him later. It's a lot of racing left. We're only on lap 74. And I feel like Chad McGinley's going to have the tires to do it. He's not really battling too hard with anybody. And this is a intense battle right here as a 4-car battle for first place. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Bobby Mantle was able to make that bottom line work. Take P1. We have a new race leader. Oh! Donnie gets into, they're able to save it. Donnie gets into Justin LeBlanc. And they're both able to save it. And huge. They're both able to save it, but that just paid dividends for Bobby Mantle. And now Bobby Mantle's almost up to a 2-second lead. And that's not going to be good for the tires on Donnie Honeycutt. You know what it's time for, guys? It's time to crank these engines up. It's time to crank these engines up. As we are back, and Bobby Mantle is out to a 3-second lead on Donnie Honeycutt, who's under immense pressure right now. by Chad McGinley. And I'll tell you what, our biggest mover, Carlos Henriquez, is is inside the top five. Sneaky way to get into the top five. And he is doing a phenomenal job. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't remember last week, he called it. He said, I see myself going for the checker. Oh, and we have a caution, and John Howard, who's unfortunately has been struggling since the beginning of the race, has now been involved in a caution. And it just looks like it was just a self-spin. Let's take a look at that. And yeah, just a self-spin, just got loose. And I tell you, who hates to see that? The 89 of Bobby Mantle. Who hates to see it. He was up to almost a 4-second lead. And now that's just all been erased. And I can imagine everyone's going to go down pit road here as our top drivers head down pit road. So I can imagine our top 6 drivers are all down pit road, which they are. I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, that completely changes everything. That completely changes everything for these guys. These guys, who've been racing good all day. Phenomenal racing. And I feel like, how many laps we have left? The gloves have to come off now. So all that friendly racing that we had, or up front, it's pretty much come to an end now. I feel like these guys are going for it now. Let's take a look at the pit strategy here, guys. So we went 94 laps. The top 6, and now they've pitted as we're double file now. And we're off green, ladies and gentlemen. Bradley Minor up to P3. Putting together a great race. Up 10 positions so far. And I'll tell you what, these two have a really good history together. Bobby Mantle and Chad McGinley always find a way to race each other hard. And right now, these guys are going to be battling each other for that P1, P2 position. As Chad McGinley is looking to go for the lead. Chad McGinley has just been putting together a phenomenal race. It's a textbook race. And I tell you, oh, Bobby Mantle went to the wall. He's going to give the race lead to Chad McGinley. And now we have a new race lead. He's going to be under the fire now by Bradley Minor. As we have a caution out. And it looks to be Justin LeBlanc. Sideways. And Justin LeBlanc looks to just lose it. And that's just not what you want to see. He's been putting together a very good race. And he just loses it coming off turn 2. And that's what happens is sometimes, you know, you do a very long run on old tires, and then when you get new tires, you just kind of forget that, you know, like it's slick. The grip changes when you're on new tires. It's a little bit more slick. You have to break them in, and you kind of forget. You kind of get used to that driving line that you're able to have on old tires, and then when it gets to new tires, you're not really used to pushing your tires, and it's a little bit more slick. And then you kind of drive your old driving line as if it's your new driving line, and then you just kind of spin out. So very, very unfortunate break for Justin LeBlanc, but he does not hit the wall. And let's see if he's been a very strong driver all night. So let's see if he can get a new set of tires and go and get back up there in the top 5. So he has some battling to do, but hopefully he's able to get back up to the front. As now we have our new race leader, Chad McGinley. Bobby Mantle, who hit the wall earlier and ended up giving the race lead up to Chad McGinley. We'll see what he's able to do. I'll tell you what, Bobby Mantle has been very strong on restarts on that high line, and that high line is kind of the preferred line on the restarts if you're able to get a good start. So we'll see what he's able to do. That 81 car of that Sour Patch Kids, Carlos Enriquez, is sitting to P6 right now. I can tell you what, it doesn't seem like he really wanted to see that caution come out 2 cautions ago, because now he's not able to he's not able to keep that same spark that he had earlier. Well, let's see if he's able to have a good finish. Michael Dow running P7. Very, very quiet race from him. He got involved into a little incident earlier, but he has himself in the top 10, pointing himself in the right direction after an unfortunate incident early in the race. And right behind him is Justin LeBlanc. Right now we have Tyler Honeycutt in P11, who just had catastrophic damage today and just hasn't been able to get it together. As we get ready to go green here, guys, we'll see what happens, and we'll see if Bobby Mantle is able to get a good start and hold that high side. And they're wrecking. Oh, Carlos Enriquez. And Michael Dow makes some contact. And let's take a look on what happened with Carlos. It doesn't. Oh, it just seems like he had some help there from Justin LeBlanc. And yeah, that will do it. That will do it. Luckily, it wasn't too. He didn't hit the wall or anything. And that's what it is. And that's what happens. It's Justin LeBlanc has been racing pretty much around the fastest drivers all night. And when you get in that traffic, you kind of have to. You kind of lose sense and focus of how other drivers drive, and you can't set those same times as you set. We're driving around the front of the pack, so just very impatient move from Justin LeBlanc. And unfortunately, Carlos Enriquez is going to be on the short end of that stick, as he's going to fall back to P9. You see Tyler Honeycutt coming down pit road. And now's the time. Let's see if we can bring Ron Harrington up to the booth. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like we're going to be able to bring Ron Harrington. Unfortunately, we'll see if we can get him on the next time around. As we are about to go green here, ladies and gentlemen. Chad McGinley was in the middle of the pack beginning of the races, was able to make his way all the way up to P1. And as you can see, his car's clean. He's been able to avoid wrecks. And we're all green, ladies and gentlemen. Chad McGinley gets off to a good start, as he has no one to battle. Chad McGinley is shooting out of a rocket, as he just set a 14.63. He's running insane laps. That might be, he just ran the fastest lap of tonight's race. Chad McGinley already off to a 1 second lead. And now that it kind of sets in is, what is that doing to the tires? Will these guys catch him in the long run if this thing stays green? Or what if it doesn't stay green and he just wears up all his tires? And that just opens up the door to Donnie Honeycutt. So we'll see the strategy. And what will Donnie Honeycutt do? Will Donnie Honeycutt just decide? Donnie Honeycutt's putting together a phenomenal race. He's sitting P2 as Justin the Block is in the wall. Huge hit to the wall, and he's gonna fall back all the way, and he's just been going down and down ever since he had that self spin. I'll tell you what, if I'm Chad McGinley, I just feel like you're pushing a little bit too early. I understand, you know, we're almost in the last leg of the race, but I mean, I just feel like if Donnie Honeycutt plays his cards right, he'll be able to catch you, because you might have just pushed a little bit too early. As well as Bobby Mantle. Another driver who's made a phenomenal comeback from that early mishap in the race is J.J. McCoy, who's currently sitting P4. Mark Sherwood, who's been having a very nice race tonight, he's sitting in that P5 position, as well as that P6 Bradley Minor. That's 71 of Adam Thompson, who had a little bit of a mishap early in the race. He got involved in a wreck. He's able to make his way up to P9. He's putting together a phenomenal race. And I'll tell you what, he was having a really good race last week. He just got involved in some wrecks, and it's kind of the same story this week. It's just getting involved in wrecks that's just unfortunately just not your fault. We have our race leader, Chad McGinley. But I'll tell you what, Donnie Honeycutt is approaching. He is approaching. He's cut it under a 1 second lead now. So that's the thing, is did Chad McGinley wear his tires up too fast? Let's ride along with Mark Sherwood. One thing you see about this track here, riding along with Mark Sherwood, is you saw all three drivers kind of running a different line there, and that line was, and that's what you want to do here at this track, is you want to find a line that's going to work for you, your vehicle. What's going to be best for you, and those drivers are racing each other pretty hard. Now, as you're taking a look at Chad McGinley and Donnie Honeycutt, Donnie Honeycutt is still not, he still has a little bit under a 1 second lead, but he's not making much progress. I'm guessing with 12 laps to go, you kind of want to get on the go. You want to start to close in on this race leader. Because at some point, this is only a mile track, so you really want to get on the gas and start to go. As you can see, he's starting to hunt him down now, down to 0.7. As we're running into lap traffic, and we'll see what that's able to do. As I can imagine, the lap traffic is going to be courteous to the race leaders and move out the way. Chad McGinley has been putting together a phenomenal race. A little bit of a holdup, and that's going to pay really big dividends for Donnie, who's just trying to get by that 9 car of Zach Hollinger. And that's what it is. Lap traffic is just, are you going to be able to navigate lap traffic here? As Donnie Honeycutt looking like he's having a little bit of a rough time navigating through this lap traffic. As Chad McGinley looks like Bobby Mantle was able to get past. And he's just shot out of a rocket. Let's see if he has enough time with 5 laps to go. And the race is on. And he's just hunting down Chad McGinley. And he's just shot out of a rocket. And he's just completely, I don't know where this came from. But he's just hunting down Chad McGinley like a dog. And oh, they're getting into each other. And cautions out. Oh. And these two, and now it's history now. These two are going to race each other hard every single time come towards the end of the race. And mind you, these two are both teammates in the Truck Series. And I hate to harp on this, but last season in the Trucks for the championship race, these two ended up getting back into it again. And that's just the thing. I can't put too much on Bobby for that, because it's just one of those things where you have that run, you're gonna take it. If you're gonna slide up in front of someone, Chad, you gotta. I just feel like if you're Chad McGinley, you slide up in front of someone, it's not his duty to stop. It's not. And I know going back to Chad McGinley, he had that trouble earlier in the season, or last season in the Trucks, where he got into it with Dale Brooks, and he just kind of made that slide job here at Bristol, and then it's not that driver's decision to check up. But if you're Bobby Mantle, you got to understand that, hey, like, I know we still got 3 laps to go. I'm hunting him down, so you just got to be able to. I feel like he could have made that pass on the inside, but that's where racecraft just comes into play, because now you just potentially just ruined your race. As you can see, he's down on pit road, and he just hasn't been able to put one together, unfortunately, this season. Very strong competitor, but now he finds himself on pit road, and just made he made the right move. It's just a little bit too early, and unfortunately, that's gonna give the race lead to Donnie Honeycutt. Donnie Honeycutt, who started P2, looking to get his 2nd win of the season. It's going to be an unofficial, it's going to be a green-white checkered. And I can imagine now, just off the worn tires, Donnie Honeycutt's, as long as he has a good start, he should be the car to beat. And let's just take a look. Let's just take a look back at that caution with Bobby Mantle. have that run, and it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate situation there for Bobby Mantle, and it's just he just unfortunately just hasn't been able to put a solid race from start to finish together this season. And luckily, he's still in the playoffs sitting P3, but I mean that just can't be the mentality that you have when playoffs are fastly approaching. So here we go. We have Donnie Honeycutt taking the green. Good start for Donnie. Oh, we have JJ McCoy to second. It gets super tight. Carlos Enriquez, and they're wrecking already, and the race is going to end. Oh. And did caution come out? Are they going to make it to the white flag? They're still going to race there, and they're wrecking. 7 car has flipped. And oh my goodness. Our race winner, Donnie Honeycutt, and there is just a lot to unpack on that green-white checker. Donnie Honeycutt, tonight's winner. Well, I'll tell you what, who started P2. And that's just what you want to do. Like I just told you, like going back to my keys to the race is you just want to make sure you put yourself in that position. You don't want to race too hard, but you just want to make sure you have a clean car to take home that finish. And as you can see, he is that guy. And as he gets a congratulatory bump from Carlos Enriquez, he's gonna come away with the second win of the season as we get prepared to watch him burn it out. As he takes his second win of the season. I'll tell you what, this Honeycutt family has just been dominating in these Arca cars. And congratulations to them. They've been very, very, very solid this season. And I can imagine as Donnie has needed that race. He's needed that race. And it's going to be a great points day for him and a great win for him. And right now he is in the lead. He's our only driver to win 2 races so far in the season, as Tyler Honeycutt is going to go ahead and burn it out with him as well. And good job to those drivers. And that's just what you want to see. That's just what you want to see. That's how you go into the season. That's how you're gonna want to. You want to keep that momentum going. I know Donnie Honeycutt's gonna want to keep that momentum going, as he's gonna take a victory lap here, going backwards. And let's start here with our race results. Let's go here to our race results here. And so, I know it was a crazy one, guys, but Donnie Honeycutt is going to take home first, followed by Carlos Enriquez third. Third place, Adam Thompson in that 71 car, who's put together. He's able to snag that P3 position after a very unfortunate start. Mark Shearwood in fourth. Bradley Miner in 5th, Tyler Honeycutt 6th, Michael Dow 7th, Chad McGinley 8th, Justin LeBlanc 9th, JJ McCoy 10th, Danny White 11th, Bobby Mantle 12th, Zach Hollinger 13th, Chase Albright 14th, John Howard 15th, Ron Harrington. 16th, Ron Holmes. 17th. 18th is going to be Dwayne Honeycutt. And then followed by our 19th place driver, Alexander Cohen. And let's just unpack what happened. And oh my goodness. So you look at that JJ McCoy, he was there and then that's what happened. It looks like Mark Sherwood just had a huge run and just ran through him. And that is just goodness gracious. Look at Chase. Chase, gets into the 9 car, sends him up the track, and then huge wreck. And let's take a look at Danny White. Danny White trying to avoid that wreck and just gets hit into the wall. Just a crazy finish here, guys. What a fantastic race. And let's go ahead and start with our third place finisher. We are gonna go to the 71 of Adam Thompson, who had a little bit of a rough start in the beginning, but able to find a P3 finish towards the end. Adam Thompson, Joshua Slade in the booth. Do you have a copy?
What's up, Josh?
Hey, so there, yeah. Unfortunately, in the beginning of the race, you ended up getting into some contact on one of the initial cautions. And then kind of what was like your mentality for the race, for the rest of the race after you got into that early incident?
Yeah, for me, it was just trying to get that lap back, right? So you're playing that game for a while, and so we got a caution. I don't know. We'd already run. I had like 90 laps on the tires. We got a caution. I wanted to get tires, but I stayed out to get the wave around. And then luckily we got another quick caution, so I was able to get tires put on it. And then from there, it's just it was save and maintain and try to stay out of the wrecks. And I don't know. I guess it worked out for us. I didn't even realize we had that green white checker in the caution. I guess the caution came out, but I don't know. It wasn't showing up on my screen. So man, I'm still driving like we're going to win this deal. And somebody's like, "Why are the caution's out?" And I was like, I had no idea. But it was weird too. And I'm wondering if my caution flag didn't come out because after we finished, it gave everybody a black flag for passing the pace car. So I don't know. Something was weird.
Yeah, that was a crazy green white checker. Kind of take me through what was going through your mind on that green white checkered, and how were you able to come to P3 from where you started on that restart?
Yeah, luckily, like I said, I had waited so long to get my first set of tires. I think I was on just fresher tires than most. So I actually was kind of hopeful that I could get the win, but the caution came out. I think if we'd had another lap, I would have definitely gotten second. I don't know about first, but here, I don't know. It's just the Arca car. It's really about maintaining those tires and not burning them up early. If you can save anything, then you'll have enough for the end. But also, I think I was sitting on a minute 50 as far as damage to go. I kind of felt like I was down horsepower, but clearly I wasn't. So here it's just Bristol is just you just got to be cool, take care of your car, stay out of trouble. That's all you can hope for. And if you can do all that, usually you'll find yourself in the top 5.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So next week we will be racing at Kentucky Speedway. So kind of this P3 finish that you had here tonight, how will you be able to take that momentum into next week?
I mean, I I like Kentucky. It's not one of my better tracks, so I will tell you this: I will be doing a lot of practice this week. But yeah, the momentum coming into it's exciting. I do know I have enough to probably get a top five, but I don't know. There's some fast dudes in this league, and yeah, you're gonna have to bring your A game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a phenomenal points day for you. I believe this is your best finish so far in the league, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Is there anyone you want to shout out?
Yeah, man. I had to miss the first two races because, as you guys know, my son's friend, 9 years old, was killed 3 weeks ago by a drunk driver. So I ended up missing the first two races. That really put me behind the eight ball in this deal. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys for hosting and putting on the broadcast. And shout out to my son and a shout out to Nolan and his family. Poor guy lost his life, but yeah, I just hope the Davidsons can keep marching forward and get through all that. That's all I got for you, Josh. I appreciate you doing the broadcast and all that. Thank you.
Yes, no problem. Phenomenal race. And here at Global Racing League, we will always carry the motto Nolan Strong. Our condolences go out to their family. And phenomenal race from you, Adam. And we look forward to talking to you next week.
Yeah, real quick, I should say I want to congratulate Donnie on the win, Carlos on a P2, and then, of course, Chad. I just want him to know that I'm thinking about him and his family and prayers to them as well. So we'll talk to you next week. Thanks.
Yes, sir. You have a nice evening.
You too.
And now we have our P2 finisher. He said he was going to have a strong finish. Unfortunately, he came up short, but he was able to come away with a P2 finish again. Carlos Henriquez, how are you feeling after tonight's race?
I Man, I don't even know where to begin. Really crappy qualifying. Got taken out late by accident by the 85. I know he didn't mean it. Uh, had greater tires apparently than everybody else and gave it my best. And next thing you know, just came up short again 2 weeks in a row. But I would rather take consistency. I don't know. I don't know how to feel.
Yes,
It's so weird being on the losing end, being the first loser. It's twice. It's weird, you know.
yes, sir. So, what was kind of your mentality after you kind of came up a little short and qualified in the back of the field? What was your mentality for the rest of the race?
I just knew that I have a good, like I said last week, this track for me is like PB and J. So once I get in the groove, I'm good, right? And that's what happened. I ended up, long runs started to come out. I was able to pass some guys, and then the caution, a few span of cautions came, and people like to go hard on new tires. I don't. It scares me, but I gave it my best, and then I was like, okay, I might have a shot. I'm moving my way up. A few people have wrecked. Lap cars were racing me like hell, which is never fun, but hey, that's just short track racing. And I was like, okay, green white checkered. Let's not check anybody out. Thank God I didn't. And yeah, I mean, second place. I know it's talking big talk. It sucks more, but I'll take second. Considering
Hey,
everything I did last week.
hey, I will take a P2 too. That is a phenomenal points day for you, phenomenal finish, and you putting together two second places in a row. It's only gonna be a matter of time until we have you sitting in that victory lane. So shout out to you. Now there's a time in the race where it was during that very long green flag run that we had that you kind of found your way within that top five, and then you were faster than all of the leaders, and then unfortunately that caution came out. What was kind of going through your mind then?
Man, I gotta tell you, it's all about the music. I don't know. I have Spotify in the background when I'm racing, just to keep me calm. I was racing with my Apple Watch on and monitoring my heartbeat because I know I get hella nervous, right, when I know things are going good. I was peaking out like I think 140. But Spotify kept me calm, and it's just rhythm. Somebody who comes from
Yes.
music is all about rhythm, and then sometimes your rhythm gets messed up because of a caution, but it's the mentality is just getting back to that rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4, all turns.
Yes, sir. So we are going to Kentucky Speedway next week. Please tell me, how are you gonna kind of prepare for next week and take that momentum that you have from the last two races and apply it for next week?
Well, if Kentucky is the way I think it is, I think I'll be fine. I make good fried chicken, and I know Kentucky's known for its good fried chicken. So that's another match that goes along with me. And now I'm not gonna say I'm gonna get the win, but I'm gonna say watch out. Two
Watch
two
out.
two two places, two second places in a row. I'm trying to back it up this time.
Yes, sir. Two second places in a row. We look forward to having you on Victory Lane soon. Is there anyone that you want to shout out this week?
Mm. I want to shout out Tyler again for just everything he's done. He's really, really helping me out. I want to shout out my family. I had happy holidays to all. I'm getting ready for this big party on Saturday, and then I'm headed to the city, for my father's show for New Year's Eve. But yeah, family and Tyler, they helped me out. But yeah,
Yes, sir. You are on a hot streak. So we look forward to seeing you back here again, getting interviewed. You've been putting the league on notice and you've been on a hot streak. So congratulations. And this is Carlos Henriquez, and he's one of our phenomenal drivers, and he's looking to put the league on notice for the rest of the Arca Series League. I look forward to seeing you in the playoffs, and good luck for the rest of the season, Carlos.
thank you.
And now we have our race winner, Donnie Honeycutt. This is your second win of the season. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. Not bad at all. Kind of shocked, and a little bit of surprise. I was not expecting to see Bobby and Chad get together there. It kind of brought
Yes.
back last year's truck championship. I know how Justin LeBlanc feels right now.
And and I hate to harp on that scenario, but that's just what it is. And now it's just, we kind of know what to expect when those two get around each other late in the race. Those guys are going to race each other hard, and you did what you had to do, and you did exactly what my keys to tonight's race was. You want to be able to make sure your car is available to the end of the race, and that's what you did. You don't want to race each other hard. You let these guys battle it out. It's a short track, and that's what happened. Those guys got in front of each other, and you were able to come away with a huge win. So, congratulations on your second first place win. And I know this is going to be a phenomenal points day to you, so for you. So I guess like you were kind of holding around in like that top five bubble, top three bubble all race. And so kind of what was like your mentality going on for tonight?
Yeah, if you notice at the beginning, I kind of fell back to about fourth right there, right off the start. I was just trying to save tires. I was just trying to take it easy, stay out of trouble. Pretty much the whole race. I didn't push it at all the whole race. And then next, let's see, two cautions from the end, I think, when it was like 40 laps to go, something like that. I started pushing a little harder, and when I passed Bobby on the inside, fairly easy, I knew that he was going to be saving tires. So I was kind of trying to save some too while I was up in front of him, but I saw him fall way back, and I knew he was saving it. So when I saw him come up, coming pretty quick there, I wanted to go and fight him. I was just stay high, let him go, and then like I said, when him and Chad got together there, I was a little shocked. So all worked out for me, but you said so. You said you know how they gonna race each other from now on, but after two times, they might start being a little bit more careful with each other. I don't know.
They might start being a little more careful with each other, or there might be some resentment starting to brew with each other. So we'll see how it is.
That is
Uh,
true.
knowing those two guys, those guys are phenomenal friends, and so we'll see how it plays out. I just know, just back in real NASCAR, there were times where Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon wasn't really too happy with each other, but they were able to make up and be the best of friends. And so we'll see how this goes with Chad McGinley and Bobby Mantle. But this is going to be a very, very hard fought battle. But unfortunately, I have a question for you, Donnie. So
Yeah.
as you can see, so early in the race, Tyler had some trouble, and he wasn't really able to kind of regain his composure for the rest of the race. So how were you able to kind of avoid making the mistakes that he did and just keep and have a good race? What was kind of like your mentality going through there?
Well, I know early on he got loose right there at the beginning, so I know he was pushing a little harder than I was. But when he got caught up in the accident, I'm not sure what exactly happened in the accident that would cause his damage. But it was a heck of a comeback for him to finish sixth place with all the damage he had. So, no, shout out to him for a good comeback. But yeah, I'm not sure. As far as me, with him running good or getting caught up in an accident, I had the same mentality, just trying to save some stuff to the end.
Yes, sir. And Tyler Honeycutt, we have you in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, Tyler. So what can you say about Donnie Honeycutt and his impressive 2 wins this season so far?
Excuse my French, but my dad is the shit. He is winning races and improving, and I love it.
Yes, sir, Donnie. You've been
Mhm.
on putting the league on notice, and you're doing a very good job. I know you had a little bit of a rough week last week at South Boston, but you've made a great recovery. And I can tell you what, Donnie, I you were surprisingly fast this week, and I didn't think you were going to be that fast coming in this week, but you put the league on notice that hey, I'm here to stay, and I'm going to be one of the top drivers in this league, and it's just awesome to see from you. And so I look forward to seeing you next week because next week is Kentucky. So plan? How do you plan to prepare for next week?
It's gonna be pretty much. I mean, it's not a short track, but once again, you're gonna be having to save tires on the long runs. I have a feeling you won't have as many cautions as we have been having at these short tracks. So I think key, good tires, saving your tires is gonna be key.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so And so DJ Honeycutt and Tyler Honeycutt, who are two proven drivers who race in our Arca series and in our Truck series, what have you been kind of taking away from them, and have they been working with you throughout our recent times?
Well, we've always, from the start, we've always worked together. They put a lot more time. They have more time with their single lives to do a lot more practice, a lot more stuff. So me being married and everything, I don't get as much practice like they do. But yeah, we share information and we try to help each other out as much as possible. And they help me, and I try to help them when I can too, as well as my brother Dwayne.
Yes, sir. The Honeycutt families are full of phenomenal drivers, and very, very excited to see them in this Arco Series League, as well as our Truck Series League coming up in February. Donnie Honeycutt, phenomenal win today. I don't want to hold you up in the booth too long. Is there anyone that you want to shout out tonight?
Of course, to always families and friends that watches our races. Global, you guys for putting on this broadcast, putting on the show, all the admins. I know Michael Lester, he's the owner of the league, so I shout out to him, Kenny Heath, all those guys, and of course Ghost Motorsports. Now Tyler, he's putting together pretty good teams here in a lot of different series, and starting to show what we can do out here. So Tyler for doing a good job, and just wish DJ was here on Thursdays. He loves running Arca too, so maybe in the future he can run with us again, but he'll definitely be out there in the trucks on Sundays.
Yes, congratulations. And Tyler, what do you have to say about Carlos Henriquez and his recent hot streak? I know he's given you a lot of credit, but what time have you been putting in with him for him to be so consistent recently?
Um, I'm usually trying to work with him at least 30 minutes to an hour each day of the week. Um, he's improving a lot. I guess a few things I want to work with him on behind the scenes, just not just the racing, but behind the scenes stuff in general. But I am really ecstatic of how he's been able to start in the back these past two races with a messed up qualifying and persevere through everything and be there when it counts. So I'm just happy that he's starting to show what he can do.
Yes, sir. Ghost Motorsports is going to be one to look out for coming come February 2024. I am ecstatic to see them. It's going to be a fun truck season, guys. Very, very exciting race tonight. Next week, we will be at Kentucky Motor Speedway for a phenomenal race there. And that's going to do it for us tonight. Our race winner, Donnie Honeycutt, second time winner in our Global Racing League. And will he make it 3 times this season? We'll see. Other than that, thank you, Donnie and Tyler, for coming in. You guys have a nice night.
And thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Josh. I just want to say real quick before we wrap it up, I just want to say I'm just super proud of how you're running the ARCA. how us admins are helping you do what we can to get all these good drivers in here. I'm thankful for Ghost Motorsports in general. That's 3 wins out of the 4 weeks we've done this so far. 3 times the Honeycutt has won. Um, I don't want to toot my own horn, but Ghost Motorsports is we're coming.
Yes, sir. He's putting the league on notice that Ghost Motorsports will be taking over the league here. And we'll see what happens in the trucks. I know a lot of drivers going to have a lot to say about that, but we'll see what happens in February. Best of luck to you guys, and thank you for the shout out as well. I wish the best of luck to you both.
All right, thank you.
All right, Josh.
Thank you. So there we have it, guys. A phenomenal race tonight. Not what we expected, but our race winner, Donnie Honeycutt, was able to come away with the win. Phenomenal race tonight from these drivers. Next week, we will be at Kentucky Motor Speedway, and it's going to get down to the nitty-gritty, and we'll be in our 5th week of the season. So these drivers are going to get more playoff hungry. So phenomenal race from everyone tonight. All the drivers did a good job. And shout out to all the drivers who came tonight, everybody who's watching at home, and all the admin in the league, as well as their owners. This has been a very fun race tonight. I know we're getting to our second leg of the season now, and it's going to be a very exciting race in the next 4 weeks. So, congratulations to everyone. Thank you for everyone watching at home, and you guys have a very